Hi, I'm Matthieu. I'm a train driver in Paris. I'm the General Secretary of the CGT trade union of railroad workers in Versailles, just beside Paris. So I'm here, delegate to this very important conference of TUI Transport Union of WFTU, World Federation of Trade Union, take place here in Istanbul, Turkey, and because my union is affiliate to WFTU. It's very interesting to be here to exchange experiences and analysis because there is many different situation in many countries. In some countries is absolutely dictatorship and with no right of strike, no right to organize for the worker. There is some country like my country, where it's more easy. Of course, we have different rights about. Around different countries, but we can see and we can feel in each declaration we have the same problem in all over the world. The same exploitation, the same capitalism, the same aggressive imperialist issue. So there is just one working class in all over the world. No matter about your passport, no matter about the border, the name of your country, if you are in a monarchy or republic or something like that, we have the same problems. Just for example, it's very interesting to see that in Renault factory of cars, here in Turkey, there is a huge strike against Renault for wages, for rights, etc., etc. But the boss of Renault lives in Paris and his money is in Switzerland. So, of course, we have the same enemy and very, of course, links between our problems. Your problems is my problems, etc., etc. So, because we have the same enemy, why we don't unite between border to fight against the same enemy for the same claims, the same demands? That's the point of this conference today. It's very interesting, this example of Gilets jaunes, because at the very beginning, Gilets jaunes was just one day of anger against taxes, and just only taxes. So there is a lot of people from the right and sometimes from extreme right come in the movement, including in the leadership of the Gilets jaunes movement. But the working class find a way, and more and more workers, day by day, week after week, come inside the movement of Gilets jaunes and ask to have more links between the working class trade union movement and the Gilets jaunes. So weeks after weeks, it's become a very social movement, a very big social movement for more wages, for more pension, for more right for the worker, and for real democracy. So today we co-organize strike with red jacket of the trade union and yellow jackets, because we said to the Gilets jaunes, to the yellow jackets, we said to them, it's very important to demonstrate on the street, but the heart of the power is in the company, on the factory. So we have to fight with the only good weapon is the strike, occupied factory, and to can win. So we have to unite the political action in the street and the industrial action in the company. It's definitely the same in France because it's the same in all over the world, of course. First of all, in the 19th century or the beginning of the 20th century, capitalism wanted to kill unionists, but they could not do that they could not do that. So they try to corrupt the movement and to take the control, to take the power of the movement. It's logical, okay? So it's very important for us, trade unionists of struggle of classes, inside our trade union movement, to keep the fight against opportunism and reformism. Why? Because the struggle of classes is not just in the street against your government, it's not just in your company against your boss, it's also in your trade union movement against reformism and opportunism. Maybe it's the worst of the war. It's very important because you could not going to fight with your enemy on your back. It's not possible because he has the knife under your back and he will win, of course. So you have to do that. You have the problem. NACLIA is a very militant and active and leftist trade union. And the leadership of DISC, of course, they have a lot of contradiction with reformism. We have this, I'm sorry about that, it's not a judgment, but we have the same problem in France. The base of the CGT are very healthy, but the leadership, of course, is with a lot of contradiction, with money, with reformism, etc., etc. We have the same struggle to do in different countries. We have the same problem in all over the world. You know, it's very important, it's our duty, because our father, our grandfather, okay, they fight for us, for wages, for collective agreements, for freedom, freedom of strike, freedom of speech. We have a duty about our father and grandfather. And we have another duty about our children, of course. We have some things to give to them. And we have to continue the fight, and it's very important. And to continue the fight, we have to be clear inside the working class movement. We have to be clear. We have to know who we are and where we're going. They have money, they have weapons, but we have more. We have the faith. We have the faith, we have the theory. We are clear about that. We know who we are and where we want to go. You know, it's a very interesting question, especially about France. France was the second biggest colonial empire in all over the world, okay? Just after Britain, okay? So the riches of France, it's come from colonialism. We steal coal, we steal petroleum, we steal gas, we steal gold, we steal cobalt, we steal coltan in all over the world, you know, especially in Africa, etc., etc. Syria, you talk about Syria. Syria was a French colony, including Lebanon, etc. Okay, so and it's continued. It's neo-colonialism, of course, because it's not with the same weapon, but it's the same policy and the same target, you know, with multinational. And the comrade from Congo talk about that, you know, and we steal the country. But it's very important to do the difference between governments and people. Of course, the working class of France, they are not racist and they don't want to dominate the world. But it's the policy of the government and the duty of the working class organized movement is to explain the thing, to take off the mask of generosity, of helping people on the world, because it's just pretext to take the power in the country. In Syria, but you can talk about Libya, you can talk about in Mali, we bombing Mali for the same reason, of course. So we do this job, it's a difficult job, but we do this job because it's very important. And I have a special message to say, in all of our working class, in all over Europe, what's the problem? The problem is the migrants? Is this the problem is the migrant? Or is imperialism destroy country and people have the obligation to run away in Europe? What's the real problems? And we have in France, in my union, a big tradition, a big legacy about anti-imperialism. For example, in 1924, we do 1 million workers on strike against colonialism in Morocco. The slogan was Morocco to Moroccan people. Okay, during the 60s, we fight against the Algerian war. We have 8 people was killed, martyrdom during a demonstration in Paris against Algerian war. During the 80s, in my federation, the railway worker, we do strike against apartheid and for the liberation of Nelson Mandela. And now we continue to fight inside the BDS movement against Zionism and killing people and colonize in Palestine. So it's a part of our history and it's a part of our fight today. We have just 4 months ago, it's very interesting, a huge BDS victory in France. Because my company, National Company of Railway, do business with for the tramway of Jerusalem, and we fight against that. And the company was afraid and get back and stopped to give money to build this tramway, this ashamed tramway, because it's a tramway just in West Jerusalem for the white people and not in East Jerusalem for the Arabs people. So that's concretely a huge BDS victory of imperialism, concretely about trade unionism. Famous guy, Robespierre, revolutionary from the 18th century in France, said people who oppress another people could not be free people. So, first of all, thank you very much for the warm welcoming of the working class trade union movement in Turkey. It's amazing, it's huge, it's a high level of the international solidarity for me. First of all, it's very important. And the second thing, I saw history of the working class in Turkey. I saw do a lot of struggle, a lot of strike, a lot of struggle against dictatorship of military, against government, against bosses. It's very important. You have to be proud about this great history of the working class in Turkey, but you have to be proud about the actual now movement of Turkey. I saw you, a lot of young, a lot of women with equality in the organization. That's very important, very healthy. It's a good thing of good health, and I think you have to continue. You have to continue to fight to unite, and we have to continue to build strong relationship between our organization. So thank you very much. The future is ours.